Okay, as you can see, I've been busily working out every day of the last month. And so now it's time to review all of the progress that I've made, all of the things that happened, that went well and went not so well, so that by the end of this you have an idea of what a month of working towards such a goal can look like. So the first thing that happened last month is that everything kind of started hurting. So first I realized that my running knee was still causing problem in my knee extension, and that running obviously still wasn't an option. But then on my first deadlift in January, I noticed that my back here started hurting in a weird way, so I had to stop this exercise too for some weeks. I noticed that when I did stabilization exercises on one leg, my calves and ankles really were exhausted too from I don't even know what. Maybe from doing so much more sports in general. For some reason my hamstring hurt and wouldn't get better too. And then what I decided to do is the new line I alluded to in the last video. It's that I decided to go into a maintenance break. Because I needed to let my body recuperate from all of that stress I put on it for the last 6 months. So the idea was to do easier workouts that resemble more a regenerational workout. And then I noticed that university offers plenty of courses for its students, which for the most part aren't that intensive for me, so I thought that would be great to try out. And what's more is that in university courses I can meet new people. And I know I said this wasn't part of my goals for training, but I also said that this is not a goal because I didn't think it was that compatible with my ambitious sports goal. However, now that my sports goal has shifted and I want to do something that's a bit easier, I can combine it very well with meeting new people. So I've decided to take both of those things and go to the uni courses. Or at least to try them 2 times a week or something like that. And I've been doing this for 3 weeks now, and there are some more changes that I didn't anticipate. For example, now that I've decided to not go all out on my strength training sessions, I noticed that leaving reps in reserve, as you say in the gym world, actually makes the workout much easier. I didn't expect it at all to accelerate the pace at which I can do different exercises, because I'm less exhausted between them. And then the muscle soreness isn't as bad the next days. Which means that I am seriously thinking about going to the gym 4 times a week now and just cycling between my 3 workouts as if the week was just a bit shorter. Another thing that went very well were the 10,000 steps each day. I mean, I knew that they'd help me staying active during those inactive Sundays I usually had. However, I didn't anticipate that this would feel so good. Just walking at the end of the day in which I sat for a very long time really reactivated my body so that by the next day I wasn't feeling so as if I had spent a day in a coffin. I didn't feel so rusty the next day, that's what I mean. And the warm-up runs before every strength sessions were a great idea. I'm gonna keep them. Now, one last thing that happened at the end of January is that I talked to someone about my hamstrings because they always seem to hurt and I didn't know what I've done to them. And he asked me whether I've stretched them recently. And this is where it all made sense. I finally understood that indeed stretching my hamstrings in the way that I did is also something that can cause them to hurt afterwards. Because a sore muscle is really just a wounded muscle on the micro level, and elongating a muscle from stretching is another way to not crack. Crack is stupid. Crack? Can you say there's cracks in your muscle? So yeah, stretching a muscle can give it little micro cracks. That sounds weird. And I somehow just completely forgot this effect. But it makes sense, right? Using your body in a different way requires a different body. You know, I've always thought as working out to do some progress as telling your body that it needs to do some construction work for the new requirements of living. Which means that after running a lot, then your tendons get stronger and your heart gets bigger, etc. So there's all of these construction things that happen so that you can meet those demands. However, somehow I didn't have the idea that this is also true for stretching, that in order for your muscle to be able to stretch further, it has to, well, somehow be different and be longer. Your body has to put work into making it somehow different, which would explain why I'm so unflexible, because my body has just never put in the construction workers to fix that. Now, final thoughts I have on this month are that it's weird to exhaust myself less. I'm not used to this. You see, normally after a workout, I know I've been doing a workout from exhaustion till 1 or 2 days after it. However, now that the goal was to do a workout basically every day, I couldn't exhaust myself on every workout that much anymore. Which led to the weird phenomenon where at the end of a week, I always thought, what the heck have I even done? I felt like I've done nothing for the whole week because nothing was exhausting. And I don't know, maybe that's the way it's supposed to be and I've done it wrong my whole life. Because maybe now I'm finally, for the first time in my life, moving in this healthy boundary, which I talked about last video. Whereas before I was always in the unsustainable area. But then I keep wondering, is it always gonna stay that way? My hope is that after I have gotten my body used to this training volume, I will be able to go harder on every workout and still feel refreshed the next day. Or maybe training is not supposed to be hard. Maybe the actual hard thing about it is doing it consistently for such a long period of time. But I don't know, this doesn't seem to make sense to me. I mean, the cardio workouts are supposed to be exhausting, right? I mean, if you've been doing cardio for 10 years, then would you even make progress when you're just running at a casual pace that you don't even feel is hard? I think the question I'm getting at is whether difficult training can become as boring as some other daily routine. Because if the answer is yes, then this would maybe solve the issue I have in my head right now. But yeah, I think I'll just figure that out in the next years. I'm still nowhere there yet. But that's the questions that keep me up at night, you know. So that's it for this month's review. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I will try to answer them. I hope you have been getting something out of this review. Otherwise, I hope I see you in the next one. Bye!